Alright, so Wings made a video the other day that people asked me to reply to. And I actually called Wings and talked to him one-on-one about it. He's feeling a whole lot better now. He just needed to get out of his room. But I thought I'd make a video reply anyway because it's not really specific to just Wings. It's what happens to almost all adults at one point or another when they realize, like, man, I'm having a hard time having enough fun in life. But let's check out what Wings had to say.
And a lot of people don't want to hear you bitch about life. They don't. That's why I usually don't try to do it on my videos. I do it on Twitter. But I just don't know where to go at this point in life. I don't. I'm unhappy with Call of Duty. I am. But the fact is, nothing else I do is even remotely successful in the way of views. And, my entire channel is based around Call of Duty. And, I don't want to play the game no more. I don't.
Yep. I know where you're coming from. This will happen with any job, right? It's not Call of Duty based. It's not YouTube based or whatever. YouTube has its own special challenges. I think I'll talk about them a little bit later. But if you were a computer programmer, you'd be feeling this too. If you were an attorney, so here, Wings, you've been working overtime at this thing for 4 years now. Right? 4 years of non-stop living and breathing YouTube commentary, etc. You're what, 3,000-4,000 videos into it if you count everything you've done across different channels. That is a lot of overtime for you to be cranking out for 4 years straight. It's a ton. And if you were an attorney doing this, you'd have felt like that 2 weeks in. You'd have said, "Oh my God, what have I done? This is really something else." I loved computers. Loved them. There was a time in my career, before my career, I should say, where I would just sit there taking directories at the DOS prompt for hours. You couldn't stop it. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd code all day long. I'd come home at night and code some more. You couldn't stop me. I was just passionate about it. And then later in my career, I'd liked it, and then there was a time where it was like, man, I have got to get away from this machine and clear my head because what's happening to me right now makes me crazy. And I think we've watched you evolve to that too. There was a time where you just couldn't get enough of this, and now look, you're a pro. You don't have to do this thing 16 hours a day to be as good as you were when you first started back in 2008. That's what you have going on. And it doesn't matter. YouTube is a dream job, right? I think you see that. I think you're like, man, as bad as this is, there are aspects of it that are still a lot better than working a jackhammer ever was. You know that intellectually. There are aspects of this that are tough too, right? Here, let me grab another piece of what you talked about.
I no longer want to make 3 videos a day. It drains me, and I'm unhappy. I am just look at this. This is all I see. I spend 350 days a year, 10 to 15 hours a day in this 12 by 10 coffin. I do, it pisses me off, and it's like I see this, and I do get some love. But the fact is, I get a lot of hate. I get my haters are more devoted to me than anything else, and it bothers me. It bothers me bad. The people that want to support me, they don't really support me with the likes. I had a Judge Dredd video the other day get it's 6 days old, and it took it 6 days to break 10,000 views. But as soon as I put something negative out, the shit breaks 60,000 views. You know why? Because my channel is devoted about hating me. If all I ever did was hate on people and put stuff out there so I could get hated on, my channel would flourish. And I don't want it to be like that. I just don't know what to do.
Occupational hazards, right? So, if you're an accountant, a computer programmer, or an HR benefits administrator, the occupational hazard is the drudgery. It is hard to motivate yourself, to drag yourself into your personal prison, which is that cube, and look at the same thing every day, all the time. It's murder. If you're a carpenter or a roofer and you have to put shingles on your back and carry them up a ladder even though your back hurts, that's your occupational hazard. That's the thing that you fight against as you sit there and find that you need to perform on a daily basis. That's just sort of the deal. And when you're a YouTuber, the 2 occupational hazards are, one, the fact that you're spending maybe more time doing something, the more time gaming than most guys do, and the other is the haters, right? That's the occupational hazard. If you're an actress, an actor, a politician, or a YouTuber, then you gather more haters than an HR benefits administrator does. That's just part of the deal, and like I hear you, like why are these guys so motivated? Like why are they so passionate about getting their views out? Their view just trying to be making you feel bad. I don't believe there's like 200 people that wish Colin was dead. I think there's just a couple of guys out there making accounts again and again and again. And Wings, as you know, it's not the hate that's inaccurate that bothers you, like the Colin death guys, whatever. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't really sink in. Whatever. I just block him and move on. But people who have this hate that I look at it and say, yeah, this is right. That's much tougher, right? That's a little harder to deal with. And this comes as no surprise to a guy like Wings, who has also had his fair share. So yeah, haters are occupational hazard. They're trying to suck your happiness away. The next step here, and this is what, adults all around the world have been doing for ages, is to find something that fills your emotional bank account back up, right? To find some way to make you happy again. Because if all your fulfillment comes out of work, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's the reason why, every adult in the world has more than just work. Almost every adult in the world. It's the reason we find relationships and etc. And that's where I'm headed. You need a couple of things. One, a girl, right? Or a guy if you're wired that way, but for Wings, it's a girl. You need her in your life. They add a certain amount of life is worth living, right? There's somebody on your team, somebody on your side. If it expands to a whole family, then the unit gets even bigger. And, this is your group. This is your group that loves you, even though, you said the wrong thing in some video. This is the group that loves you, even though you went negative in some game or got mad at some guy. These are the people who are on your side through thick and thin. That's your, your family, your whatever, your kids, your etc. And, that's what you need, right? That's why people do this, right? They don't do it because they're dumb. They don't do it because, every adult male in the world has made the same mistake in an effort to get sex. Like, no, they're doing it because getting married actually is good. It actually is cool. It's a wonderful thing. And the other part of it is a hobby. If you have something aside from work that, some activity to do that will keep you happy, then that'll be a positive thing. And so before YouTubing, I was off-roading. And I off-road every weekend, or if I wasn't, I was fixing it. And all week long, I was passionate, kind of setting up my weekend. I lived for the weekends. I finally understood what people loved about weekends so much. It was like, I'd sit there and count the days. And when I hooked up my truck and headed towards the trail, I was a different guy. I was a guy that, was handy with his hands, that was, knowledgeable, that was, kind of a big shot in my little off-roading community. It was awesome, right? I liked it a lot. And it was a passion for me that, that I didn't have elsewhere. You're not having this, right? The only thing going on in your life at the moment is, you've got some family, the family that you grew up with. But what's going on in your life right now is just work. Just work. And even though, in my opinion, it's one of the most awesome jobs to have ever had, right? You literally play and talk about video games, and this is something that you love. It's still just one thing, and it's still, your version of work. If you were a professional basketball player or a professional hockey player, or name your dream job, a test pilot for the Navy, that would become work too. All jobs become work when you start wrapping somebody else's requirements around it, whether that be timelines, schedules, context, etc. Computer programmers get into it and they love programming. It's amazing. That's their passion. But then as soon as you have some customer telling you what to program, telling you when to get it done and what it's supposed to look like and stuff, all of a sudden it's not your art anymore. It's your work. And that's difficult to deal with. It's a lot to cope with. So yeah, get a girl, get a family, get these things that make life worth living. Get these things that give you meaning, whether that be another passion or another person, and add it to your life, and then that will refill the emotional bank account that work can drain it from. And by the way, on this work thing, we really are lucky. If you were an attorney, the rate at which your little emotional bank account would drain is so much faster than it is as a video game player. So that's my thought. That's what I have out there. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that this applies to more than just Wings of Redemption. I hope that at some point you find yourself 24 years old, and if you're not finding happiness with programming, you're like, oh right, because I need more in my life than just work. That's the deal. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to click like. If you're new around here and you like the video, in the top right you can click subscribe. Have a good day.